觉到自己说到了，将就我头当你就自己，到底今年几个做难题，做了本就上去如不修。觉到自己说到了，将就我头当你就自己，到底今年几个做难题，做了本就上去如不修。撒些背对修行没多长，至少内心明天见到底，上进心多明天破业，都给难到心了结不修。不如让他们让他干的呀，大呀。
Please adjust your sitting posture according to the 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. Think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but numberless times. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering, due to mistakenly engaging with objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience any happiness but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have excellent happiness and the causes of excellent happiness that are virtues. May they have excellent happiness and its causes. I will cause them to have excellent happiness and its causes. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from all suffering and the causes of suffering that are non-virtues. May they be free from all suffering and its causes. I will cause them to be free from all suffering and the causes of suffering. Lama deity, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take the responsibility, I do not have the ability to place them in the state of perfect complete enlightenment now. Who has such ability? Those perfect complete Buddha have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the precious state of enlightenment. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. The self and the aggregates neither exist as inherently one nor inherently different, thus is empty of inherent existence.
대지도 현생제 통지되는 상지 공부도 대지도 당비 취 소리냐네 저기도 지금 현생제도 된다 부분 사도스 고나야도 주셨어.
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this, I will listen to the holy teaching and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Thank you. 뭐야? 그리고서 어제 같이도 리진바 당선했어요. 들으셨어요?
Yeah. So today we are going to start with an outline, explanations on the time of giving the body and purpose. So then Geshe-la said that, who is talking about who is able to give the body away.
뭐야? 나들에도 간다. 리진바 당이 뒤다 그거 시험했어. 리진바 당바이나 가서 그냥 뒤다 그거 괜찮다. 당이 내세 창창아 내부에서 뭐와. 나들레가 소장 어디마 자와데 니지 삼바 마다바 니지 삼바 마다바 딘도 땅와 마자데 제네 리다 신도야 이제 리비 교당은 것에 자와시로 같은 이만 된다 비디셔스.
Under the outlines of explanations on the time of giving and giving the body and purpose. So when we talk about giving body, so we need to look at the time, we need to look at the purpose, and we also need to look at the measurement or the level that one has achieved. So it depends on this, then one gives one's body away. So under this outline is verse 87. It says, those whose attitude of compassion is impure should not give their body away, no matter what, both in these and future lives. They should give it as causes for fulfilling the great purpose.
다 장주선배 당번이로와 다 리라서봐 선바타바 당가 장주선방가도 리와 이송가데 저와 관리 주변의 신신직 치료파 뜻방사랍니다. 와 장주선방에 양 유용한 신직 비셔와 관리 주변의 리와 이송 내가 가르치고는 이게 신직 치료 주변의 신직 치료 인생의 파 아무는 거땅 땅사래서 와 장주선방 이 땅사래 이나야 다 리지 샤라서봐 거기 까지지 엔디기 빼 까지지 인정하다. 제신 제바서 나비 신지비 닌지 삼바 마다바지 아마 그 닌지 또 전보다 네 나서 이진바 당원의 세나 봉한테 지금 말씀 너무 시작이 봐 세나 봉한테 지금 말해서 와 나서 닌지 니가 휴천보 꼭
세나 봉아
세나
세나
봉한테 지금 말해서 와 이진바 당 이진바 당 때문에 다니기 체를 줘봐라 이진바 관심 이진비 파르시마 용하라 아까 니지의 삼바 마다바 리기 땅바이나 니지가 삼바 마다바 사당가서 니지기 니도 만다바 내가 니지 전부 제가 이나야 니지 전부 니도 리지바 땅에 니도도 그래서 이 니도도 매바이나 답에 동해라서 받는 것들 이용하다 그 하자는 때 동아 셀라는 거 이거 해서 소소라 하나 리지바 땅에 동아 셀라는 거 이거 해서 이게 소화순다 니지기 삼바 다바지 니지기 리지바 땅에 니지기 때 이번 나와지 보고 해서 와 이번 나 세나데 게타와다 지 마르셀로 고와 다랑네 세나데 진비 게다 짜 네메도 축체모 납첨보지 조바지당 다 새로 단지도 봐 현재 된다 자 첨부 줘야 돼 리집에 니지 하자는 것도 첨부지 되고 그래서 다 리지 땅바이나 다랑 앞에 용에단 제발아서 같은 사람이 아니 해서 리지 마주가 진세 그바 진세 리지를 마대고 봐 앞에 라자페 리신 바통 땅다 간다 눈이지 요야 마도 깔래 가고 싶다리 해서
So the meaning of this verse is, although a bodhisattva gives his body and so forth to sentient beings from the depth of his heart, from the very beginning, so a bodhisattva gives his body, whatever roots of virtue of his body, speech, and mind. So a bodhisattva gave these to sentient beings, or gives this for the sake of sentient beings from the very beginning. So nevertheless, those who will become disheartened at the hardship of others begging for the flesh of their body and will generate regret afterwards and the like should not give his body away due to applying an impure attitude of compassion, cherishing others more than themselves. Because just as so compassion cherishing others more than themselves. So the meaning is, so even though bodhisattvas they have already generated compassion, so if the power of compassion is not strong enough, so at that time, those bodhisattvas are unable. Those bodhisattvas are not allowed to give a body away to others. So they should not give their body away to others. So unless they have generated a strong compassion, so and without miserliness, then they give their body away. So if a bodhisattva or if a practitioner by mere abandonment of miserliness, then that is not enough for that practitioner to give their bodies away, because if they were to give their body away, then they will experience unbearable suffering. So therefore, unless one's compassion has become powerful, has become powerful together with the abandonment of miserliness, then they are unable to. They should not give their body away to other sentient beings. So, and under circumstances where there is for small purpose or without much reason, then they should not give their body away, unless it is for the sake of accomplishing great purposes through which one will accumulate extensive merits and so forth. Then otherwise, then they should not give their body away. Otherwise, they should not give their body away.
当我是被娱乐都是些，当我是被觉得我是是叫我他妈帮着我去了，那是新把当然的我去继续玩呢。当我是叫我他妈不别的，那个别但现在个我弄起了是吧？我弄起了是吧？那个别新把当的事情别不喜欢那玩意呢，当不的呢是说不别新把当然的这个你吧，这个呢得别现在总是想没把去，把你看他当初把去过来，对嘛？因为当不的呢别你打当的脱了。呀，包把全部的，这里头呢，地址切往这里当菜进来，你看就不进来，也现在小帮的就么呢，俺这个嘛的是，是吧？当么呢，说是卡当班的，对了，现在有这些没把找去不的是吧？你上班根本就不的是，其实对当菜进来，俺就把这个就么呢，那定这个嘛的是是吧？我你被那个人家当新闻就不的是。
So for ordinary beings, so when we practice giving, so we should practice giving without miserliness. For example, if a person come and ask for wealth or resources and so forth, then we should give without miserliness. So otherwise, if we were to give with miserliness or with pride and so forth, then that is not the proper way to practice giving. That is not the proper way to give gifts to others. And also, if we were to give gifts to others and afterwards, we feel regret afterwards, and that is not the proper way to practice giving as well. So when we give gifts to others, we must know the proper way of doing so.
到底我了第一个那个应该，去学都没人，但你不被理解并且是对了哇，那去学都没人，但你不被理解并且了打不来是对了哇，但马给不了去那些，没那运动过这档，有的看哇，知道的，我要把他了没事，那得就那个人都嘛自己学是吧？
Next outline is when explaining Dharma, examining the physical behavior of the unsuitable hearers. So under this outline is verse 88. It says, the Dharma should not be explained to those who lack respect, to those who wrap cloth around their heads although they are not ill, to those holding umbrellas, sticks, or weapons, and to those with covered heads.
那这个简单的讲，在去年吧，我了这个基本上看到去年个也是，是吧？如果的人都见了去年我了嘛都跟这个嘛的是，那对我们现在是吧？那去的去嘛了，嘛就把它去没去了，那是吧？去嘛的去嘛了，去的去嘛，你个了不把过来是，不把没把那去下要嘛的是，是吧？那得这样就去把去是吧？那不把嘛就把俺说，这样看的是呢，没那几个我就把俺说，但我这了就是不把就这边吧。 是你把没呢？但我个确实把那我个人到我小王这个，你知道不？对对，小王这个的，你去结果呢，我就不没个打，对不对？是吧？去的去嘛了，不没。那老了都的，考完就报了哇，但参加多吧，那人来说吧，我了要不是了，我说，我就说的，但各个军职员呢，你这个也是我，各个军职员呢，就是我讲了人下来的，那你把我呢，你把它哇，这个但就把是说别。 Kamba Madeba, the Distupo Madeba, Jubaku, Miss Kuba, the Euro. What that and do good budget, the Debatone. That is the Maibala, the chair, the Chema Nivala, the Kushana Batari, the Nikushamena Cheshia, Yomare, Cheshina, Bakanda, Cheshua, Nebasages, the Pima, Pasha, and then Nebasan, yes, the Chemo, the Bamashua. What that is, that then the digital, that the Jim Mamushu, that's the digital.
So the meaning of this verse is basically when we listen to Dharma, we need to listen to Dharma with respect. So we need to respectfully listen to Dharma, and we also need to respect the Dharma and also the Dharma speaker. So if in this, so the meaning of this verse is like, furthermore, the Dharma should not be explained to those who lack respect and to those with attributes of behavior, disrespectful behavior, such as those wrapped with clothes around their heads and so forth, although they are not ill. So without any purpose or without any reason, if they were to wrap their clothes, so then this is a sign. This is a sign of being disrespectful. So to such person, so one should not be Dharma should not be explained to such person. So, however, if the person is sick, for example, if the person is ill, or the person the leg is in pain, etc., then with such reason and purposes, then it's okay for those who hold umbrellas or sticks, walking sticks, for example, to explain Dharma to those persons. So for that circumstance, then that is not a sign. That is not a sign of being disrespectful. So if those person without respect, without purpose, without reason, then if they were to wrap their head, cloth around their heads, then that is a sign of being disrespectful. So if such person were to receive Dharma, then these hearers, the hearers of Dharma or listeners of Dharma, will only accumulate negativities.
那个别看到碰到我说生意很多嘞，就是公司人是吧？那的生意很多嘞，我们记得得去比去年去得了消息过，我们叫去嘛我了，去把小王的上进的话，得了地区结果那些，那的去就我马上就是吧，那的嘛，那去的去嘛我呢，记得得把的把个去年过的是，得了下里天查要嘛的是吧？消息过我们叫过大要嘛的，下里天要嘛的是，我去嘛了，去把小，但上进的话得了地区结果的是，你地区结果的。
Yeah, so a source to support this point is from the Cited Sutra. It says when we listen, we need to have faith and we need to respect Dharma and the Dharma speaker, and we should not belittle them, and we should generate perceptions as if they were the Buddha. So this is a quotation from Cited Sutra to support this point. Next outline is examining the attribute of the attitude of the vessel. So under this outline is verse 89. It says, the vast and profound should not be taught to lesser beings, nor to a woman unaccompanied by a man. Out of respect for the dharmas of lesser and supreme beings as equal, I should utilize all.
Chimbala Tagarisha. Chimbala Karisna, and the Chimba Chichinga, yeah, Name Bajila, Name Bujina, Name Bajila, that's the way to Maiba. Near Salasan, Indian Duat, Limaiba, Buddha Chichin Chimba Pujina, the Indian Duat, Limaiba, Lubaji Zenba, the Queen of Mechi Bajila, Name Bajila to me, China, Yanti Mari, King Madiba Chim, Hesima, Yamba Madiba Choi. But that remained of Vagina. The Mitching is Ivana, Chimba Mitching, not Nayamba, Chilaya, Uchiwachila. But this was a need to my barwa. I need to my but the digital group of Chichivachina. Yeah, Yaya, Madiba, over here. Madiba, you would. I think I was so the Rajula, she did was a larger Chimba Rajunical and Chimo Lajaration. Chimba Rajunical and Chimo Lajaration. Digital, my.
So the meaning of these verses, the vast and profound, should not be taught to lesser beings. So in Bodhisattva vows, then we also Otherwise, fear may arise in them, and then results them in, and that will as a fear will result in them, and that might result in them belittling Dharma and the Dharma speaker. So, and he says, nor to a woman unaccompanied by a man. So here is also say that there is this is a common advice for both ordained person, the Dharma speaker who is an ordained person or who is a lay person. So especially in isolated places. So if the Dharma speaker is a male, then this Dharma speaker should not give teaching to a person, to a woman. So if the audience or if the listener of the Dharma teaching is one female only, then without any company or without any friends, then there is not allowed for this Dharma speaker to give teaching to this female listener or the female who received Dharma teaching. So similarly, if the Dharma speaker is a female, so then the audience, the person who received the Dharma is a male, then it is also not proper for this female Dharma speaker to give Dharma teaching to one male person, to one male who received the Dharma teaching without any purpose and reason. So unless there is a purpose and reason, otherwise it is improper to do so.
The Rimarita, that's Sanji Tazin Jomanjas, and Niki Chebashiva, and Nichumina Ruma, that Chibong de San de Segura, and this Chebina Chibong de San Res, Chibong de South Laterang, Hajakun de Jebasuma, get someone to make the Jebat, Niki Sangi, someone Yanson never Sanji Chuk and Digina, Tibachi Chuk and Digina, and that Nemo Nimbo Mandria, Chis on the Omaris, Nimbo Maimba, Tisho. 한국이 최고이바 미치서 버리면 미치를 치바셔야 미치를 치바시바이나 답에 하장이 봐 최고 최고의 상태스들와 늘들이서.
So if we discriminate between the Dharma of the lesser and the supreme beings, such as saying the Hinayana and Mahayana Dharmas are good or bad, correct or incorrect, are or are not the method for attaining Buddhahood and so forth, then this is thought to be abandoning the Dharma. So we should not discriminate a Mahayana teaching, for example, a Mahayana teaching to be good, bad, to be correct or incorrect, or whether this teaching is a method for becoming Buddha, and another one is not a method for becoming Buddha, and so forth. So if we were to discriminate in this way, then we will accumulate the karma of abandoning Dharma. So whatever Dharma teaching, whatever Buddha's teaching it is, and whatever Mahayana teaching it is, then there is no Dharma that will not become an antidote to afflictions. So therefore, we should not discriminate in this way. Otherwise, then we will accumulate the negative karma of abandoning dharma. Next outline is not connecting those inclined towards the extensive to the lesser. So under this outline is verse 90. It says, I should not connect the dharma for dharma of a lesser being to those who is a vessel for the vast dharma. I should not forsake the conduct nor deceive by means of sutras or mantras. So the meaning of these verses, so those sentient beings who are who wish to practice Mahayana teaching, and those sentient and those people who have the ability to practice Dharma, Mahayana teaching. So if as a Dharma teacher, so if you do not explain Mahayana teaching to them, and instead you lead them to the Hinayana path or lead them to achieve their personal liberation, then it will incur a downfall and it is improper to do so. So, and instead, if you were to say, and also if you were to say that, there is no need to guard your morality of restraint, restraining from morality of restraint, restraining from those misdeeds, and if you were and on top of that, you were to say that, or if you were to practice Mahayana practices such as reading a Mahayana Sutra or practice Mantrayana, then using these as a means to you claim that, or if you practice Mahayana Sutra or Tantra, then all your afflictions and negativities will be purified. There's no need to guard the morality of restraint. So just by practicing those Mahayana Sutra or mantra, then all afflictions and negativities will be purified, and this is not proper as well. This is improper for saying so. Improper to say so because if one do not guard the morality of restraint, since morality of restraint is the foundations of all vows, and all your vows, such as individual liberation vows, those vows that you have received, such as individual liberation vow, Bodhisattva vows, and Tantra vows, will all be degenerated.
所以当然起码他多呢，到把下记了说帮我们这边觉得胖了多少没事，他讲我的了解他，他当年的咱们家是，的学了个具体情况的话，那都能必须的话。
Next outline is abandoning faulty physical behavior and so abandoning faulty physical behavior and negative activities that cause others to generate non-faith. Under this outline is verse 91 and first two lines of verse 92. It says, when I spit or throw away a toothstick, I should cover it up. Also, it is deplorable to urinate and so forth in water or on land that is utilized. When eating, I should not fill my mouth, eat noisily or with my mouth wide open. I should not sit with my legs outstretched, nor rub my hands together. Oh, sorry. Until this, sorry, the first two lines of verse 92.
치마 소소게 치마다 칼리요로 칼리 나둘라서 일로로 치마다 칼리 나둘라서 봐도 간다 주체 제라 간다 예지 만토아 마 살아 배고 해서 만토아 지네 꼬르바 견다고 만토아 사 들리파 위네 배브르메 예비 무세 통사 들리파 저보다 유아야 말해서 간다 유아야 말해서 저 알아져와 가다와 유아야 말해 사다 돌레들이 포르르마 칼레마루도 마 배브르스 까브레는 거와 solo makabure hese solo makabure de kawaii na yuya makasna ta shancho na nalles ba tumo ma so loji ya chulo warwa ta ma so be sangchi na ma so be tonya sama de support za tonya karina chanzo loji ya chu jorwa o de solo yuya ma hese so zawa ni yuya ma de ma chen ga so thana so ba thola se ma so desa tonya de ma naji mi ka ga ma bu desa sendisa de doji tansan da wo naji mi ma bo so ni desa yorwa o de desa so la to ya ma hese solo yuaya mares o solo yuaya mares o da tambe de shirwa da seji ka ka ta ruchi no je chi na se ka ka.
So the meaning of this verse is when I spit or throw away a toothstick for cleaning my mouth. So nowadays we use toothbrush, right? So however in the past or even nowadays some area in India, then they are still using a toothstick to clean their mouth. So when I spit or throw away a toothstick, then I should cover it up with earth. So it means that when I spit or throw all my excrements, urine, mucus, spit, and so forth. So we should cover it up with earth instead of letting people see it or leave it uncovered. So or simply throw it away. So this is not proper to do so. So and we're also not allowed to. So we should not throw this in water, like for example, those drinking water or river or etc. that they use for drinking. So we also shouldn't throw all these filth in water or on land where people stays or a common place.
다들 칼라사다 골라져 지는데 다들 다기는 어디 소트니 골라져와 다 칼라사다 골라서 대화를 되는 거와 세지 레바 카카와다 자자로서 그 자체보다 찍어서 넘도와 하나서 칼라사비스를 오르와 칼라사비스는 다 간다 들어와 자체모 많이 봐 하저 가시 칼라사비 주침부 정도와 카야 도마 자체모 많이 봐 딘디사브레스와 딘디사브레스 다 데마세 나저 딘디 용이 오라 우주주들이 칼라도스들이 카다우도 그래서 칼라칼 말랭이야 카 디스치보단 지하요 말 땡아도 말이가 제일 그랬어요. 칼라칼 말랭이라 그 카신 것들이 다는 거도 당가서 구글 칼라들이 드스지 용이나 카다는 거도 어때나시 맞아 미치 연마서 칼라서 드시야요 말이스 칼라 말랭이 카다는 드시야요 말이스 그래서 가서 가다 쩌나 많이 받아 해 많이 받지야 리용 그랬어요. 오라 된다 라자도 나오게 이제 들어와 리용 그랬어 이래시
So when we eat, then we should not eat noisily with chomping sounds or with my mouth wide open. So it means that when we eat, so this is advice about this is advice on how do we eat, how do we properly eat food. So when we eat food, then we shouldn't eat noisily, and we shouldn't eat like a kid. So like when the parents feed their kids, then when before the food reach the babies or the kids mouth, then they already open their mouth wide open. They open their mouth wide and waiting for the food, right? So we as a grown up, then we should not do that. So basically, these are the advice on how do we eat, how do we properly eat food, and we need to avoid those improper behavior. Next is the advice on how do we sit or abide. So it's the first two verses of 92 and verse 93. It says, I should not sit with my legs outstretched, nor rub my hands together. I should not sit on mounts upon beds, nor in the same room together with the women of others. Having observed and inquired about what causes non-faith in the world, I should abandon it. So we have covered how do we brush our teeth, and how do we clean our mouth, how do we eat our food, and now it talks about how do we sit or abide at a place. So these advices are common to ordained people and also to lay people as well. So So when we our behavior should not be those behavior that will cause others feel uncomfortable, makes others feel uncomfortable. So our legs shouldn't, when we sit down, when we shouldn't outstretch our legs, and there are many hands gesture that will cause others feel uncomfortable as well, makes others feel uncomfortable. And when we wash our hands, then we should wash it properly, gradually, and shouldn't wash in a way that will make others feel uncomfortable. And similarly, when we ride on a mount, or when we ride motorcycle, or when we drive, or when we sit on a chair, or when we sit on a cushion, then we should sit it properly. Like for example, then a male and a female shouldn't sit on a mount together, or shouldn't sit on a motorcycle or bicycle together, and so forth. So if it will make others lose their faith or make others feel uncomfortable, then those are the improper behavior that we should avoid. So unless that you are a family, that you are riding this motorcycle, for example, with your family members, then those are exceptions. Other than that, then we are as a male and a female shouldn't. It's improper for a male and a female to ride on a motorcycle, for example. So unless there is a reason or a purpose for doing so, otherwise then we should not do that. So and it says, having observed and inquired about what causes non-faith in the world, I should abandon it. So for example, if you go to a place, then in different countries, they have different traditions, different customs, and so forth. Then, if we do not know about it, then we should inquire about it. And having known that, then we should avoid doing so. So, we should avoid doing so because for a city people to go to a village, then you must follow their village, their way of doing things, and so forth. Similarly, for villagers to go to a city, then you must act accordingly. So these are the advice on how do you behave or how do you sit. Yeah. So if there is reason or if there is purpose for doing so, like for example, if you are riding a horse, then one male and a female, and one is sick, then since there is a reason or purpose for doing so, then that is okay. Other than that, then one is not proper for doing so. Unless there is reason and purpose, and otherwise it's not proper to do so. So next outline is, what should I do when showing ways, and so forth. Under this outline is verse 94 and 95. It says, I should not give directions with one finger, but instead indicate the way respectfully with also all of my right arm, nor should I wildly wave my arms about. Instead, I should make my point by utterly sounds with mouth gestures and a snap of fingers. Otherwise, I shall lose control. So when we give directions, then we should use our right hand, and then you can show the directions. Then instead of using one finger, so because showing fingers, it might become offensive gestures. So when we show directions, then we should with all of our 5 fingers of our right hand, then we show the place, show the direction, and so forth.
다 그거만 봐서 나빠 시침부 다 침부 가서 다 랑가 때고나 미데 간다 그거 제대로 봐 비인 누구드나 홀라 깨 땅거나 깨데 중제다 코로나 봐 우샤로 버전에 깨 땅거 그래서 뭐 나빠 휴침부 때만 생고 때와도 네 자 침부지 다 그거 제대로 빼 지금 봐 코로나 때 나빠 휴침부 때는 깨 휴침부지 깨 땅 들리지나 야 구샤메 봐 내다처럼 그때 지금 말했어 그거 야 그거 제대로 여반에 오늘 적어랬어 미데 나가 노조노네 지 따다 생겨라서 봤더니 컴바나는 지로 제거드나 앞에 휴침부게 휴침부지 나빠 휴침부다고 적으러 와 마지나 코에 나오는지 뺏어러 와 어다 들린다 그거 진짜 여바이나 한국에 휴침부대야 나빠 휴침부대 니셔고 해서 와 예 니셔고 해서 뭐
So similarly, when we wave our arms about, or when we show directions by uttering sounds and so forth, or with the snaps of fingers and so forth, then we should do it. We should do it respectfully. So we should do it respectfully. So if there is no purpose or there is no reason, then we shouldn't say with a very loud voice. Or even clap our hands loudly and so forth. So these are the signs of being disrespectful. So however, at circumstances that we need to say out loud, or we need to clap our hands loudly, like for example, the person is about to go to the wrong path, where it's a dangerous path full of wild animals and so forth, then you should, with a loud voice, and clap your hands loudly in order to bring the person back to a path that is free of such dangers. So with purpose and reasons, then you should do so, and without it, then you should not say out loudly or clap your hands loudly and so forth.
맞아 디자 이게 미 컴바노로이나 싫어로 미치려 그러나 뭐라 피 충분해서 땅이야 내 루시려 본도와 내 간다 지나도 로나 야본도와 봐 다 들리 많이 봐 이렇게 쳐버지네 땅을 빼셔와이나 들리 제모 다다는 게와 예 저는 맞아 내 가실래 어디建造我俩就是给啥给修全部进来过你下了马来你就会建造了给啥给全部进来过但这那这的钱要马来西亚这那的钱两波马来把这个联系了把有下面把大联系了那你看背下来都是习惯大看到了吧
其实你节目那点我呢
那你是那点的话你说的话OK但开始真的，那些建造我来的，你下来那个光他的过的，没人给全部进来光。
Yeah, so some people, when they arrive, then they knock the doors lightly or politely. So this is also a very polite or respectful way of doing so, right? So I mean, so just to tell a joke, so some people when they as they come to LDC, when they want to come and when they want to come and see me. So when they are still climbing the ladders, when they are coming up the staircase, then they already shout my name, Geshe-la, loudly and so forth. So one way is a joke that some of us do so, and on the other hand, then it is also a sign of being disrespectful.
나도 제목이고 다른다 냐이 이제 기타 버들다 이제 뭐냐 민대신다 내비 초선 나와서 시진유도 당세다 엄마님도 내가 잡스 나도 저러고 지금 뭐 디디셔이고
Yeah, so I'm just telling a joke. So next outline is what shall I do when lying down? So under this outline is verse 96. So Geshe-la said just now, what Geshe-la said was kind of like telling jokes. So under this outline is verse 96. So just as the protector lay down to pass away, so should I lie in the desired direction, and first of all with introspection made up my mind to quickly rise.
만냐이가 상당하다 리기 이시 상당하다 간다 리고기 야다 가리시고 되더라고요. 다 냐이제 뭐 냐이인데 다 상지 쫀딘데 간다 로아 로예바 파티다 간바 예비데 임바 샤바 영인제 그가다 상지기 뜻이 저가 되로아 영인제 비데 보다 되나시 라바 예비데나 라바 예비 로아 라바 예비데나 땅고샤 땅가서 주게는 상지기 로아 상지 임바 나시 영인제 뜻이 이제바 나시 땅가서 냐이제 뜻이 좀바이나 리 제바이나 뜻이 제바이나 간다 때들이야 그거 주세요 그랬어 와 그거 주세요 그랬어 냐이지 딱 가는 야다도 제바이나 야 소소게 근데 대고 봐. 야 그거 주세요 바이나 야 초고다 그래서 간디 대고 수고 딱 되게 딱 초고로 다다다 지치는 뜻이 제바이나 야 야다도 제바이나 딱 간다 때 마부시에로 앞에 마부지 근데 제바이나랑이 셈바데 tempo 상호다 주주라 상호다 그냥 셈바데 tempo니아다 어디가 상야다 근데 요레스 난 그나는 가서 좋아라고 무슨 야단데 냐에 가라 가서 상호 간다고 생각去给我了上头当的，人的习，全部的习性，那样的习，有的当晚是得习，
什么习性？
全部的习性，那样的习什么的，有的当晚是人的习的话，有的习，那得习了上头当是吧？
习卡的的，
习了，我全部
的习，原练习的，
整个习的全部，习性，
习有的习的，
整个习的话，全部的习性，全部习，
那位都习的，
那样的习的松。有的当晚是，有的习了啊，他嘛这个嘛伢一个了，得习的北京全部的，得习过的，他得习过的，他伢到上去的，两个人的出电话电脑系都是，伢家都是伢，他我说伢一个了，上班的都是，全部的我说取消去了，上班的，这个取消去了是吧？他老妈的公办一样的，就是全球县的公办、民间公办一样的，家里呢顶起来全部的，嘛伢一个顶起来全部的生活钱。上班新八千，那整把也过去收的，这来先进的大，那这个先进的大，现在没有是吧？先进的大注重的是，那注意个了，我说那我的看的是呢，那我的在三步就100没有吧，是吧？那我为啥的接不起？为啥的接不？等的就那我去那呢，是我是你了200来个是吧？200没有，是吧？200没有，那我也是的接不，等的就是大。
你来明白累嘛的？
哦，你给他讲的，那200学全部没有吧？是吧？200学全部来呢，人家是3不用嘛，是不是吧？200没来吧？那我给他讲的，为啥的？接不，你就把上路打。那当晚是话的，打上面边其实我把主要看的呢，其实你就让我打来了，那个，今年啥，那是给什么今年啥？你上路打不赢呢？你叫你上路嘛打不赢呢？但你看看的我说，嘛你的嘛你吧，给我中吧那些。你话大家中还是不，是吧？我说马尼比个了，说这个娘嘞，对吧？看你结果呢，但你个了，嘛上网这里当把人的电信上把人呢，那这个人娘嘞的，马尼个的，告诉娘嘞结巴的基本都不还是娘嘞，这个人，这个娘嘞呢，刚刚你看个的，看他给小孩都不还是，给小孩，这当我是你小的妈的来了，当我是你的妈的来是，是吧？给么给看样嘛的妈的来了，那等这个了，你我的，我说你的给我了就都不要。
So here it talks about when we lie down, then what should we think about, and what is our what should be our physical posture? What should our physical posture be? So if there is the meaning of this verse, it talks about in just the way the protector lay down when he showed the manner of passing away. So protector refers to Buddha. So in just the way the Buddha lay down when he showed the manner of passing away. So when he go to sleep, I should lay my head in the desired direction, lie on my right side, place my left leg on my right, place my head on my right hand, and cover myself well with my Dharma robes. So, and so if there is a reason, or purpose of lying in another posture, then one should. Unless there is a reason or purpose of lying in another posture, then one should lie in this posture, and by lying in this manner, so it makes our mind become more stable. Like for example, when we think about Dharma, when we lie down, then it makes our mind become. Our mind can abide steadily on the Dharma, and our our consciousness, it becomes clear as well, or our mind becomes clear as well. So yeah, so when we lie down, then we must have these 4 points or these 4 attributes. So when we lie down, then we must lie down with mindfulness, lie down with introspection, and then we should lie down with the perceptions of light or something illuminating, or something bright, or something or have the perceptions of illumination. And the 4th one is I will get up quickly. I will wake up quickly the next day. So when we lie down, then we should have these 4 points, endowed with these 4 points, with mindfulness, with introspection, with the perceptions of light or illumination, and I will get up quickly, have this idea of getting up quickly, or this determination. So when we lie down thinking about Dharma, we can think about the posture that we lie down is as the Buddha. Then we think about Dharma, then we can think about one's Lama, think about compassion, think about Bodhisattva. Then we place our mind on these with mindfulness and introspection, and then we should have the perceptions of light as well. So we shouldn't we should not conceive or think about something dark, or something dark. So something dark. So we should think about something bright or illuminating, and then we should have this idea that I will get up quickly. Like for example, I will get up early next day in the morning, for example, 5 or 6 in the morning, in order to practice and so forth. So yeah. So, and in general, when we talk about sleep, sleep is unspecified. So unspecified also means another translation for this is neutral. So in general, our sleep is neutral. So however, if we were to sleep with these 4 points or these 4 attributes, it makes our sleep become virtuous. Yeah. So if we were to lie in this posture, then this posture is also called a lion posture. So if we lie in this posture, then it makes our sleep becomes virtuous, and one will not have nightmares. Next outline is summary. Verse 97, it says, from among the limitless deeds of a bodhisattva that have been taught, I should certainly practice as much of this conduct that trains the mind. So the meaning of this verse is such as taught in the sutras and the commentaries explaining their intention. From among the limitless divisions of deeds of a bodhisattva, such as generosity that have been taught, if I lack the ability to accomplish all of them, then only at the beginning I should practice as much of all the conduct as I'm able to, due to ascertaining the above explanations of the conduct, training the mind. So if so when it talks about Bodhisattva Deeds, and we need to train in six perfection and so forth. So at the beginning, if I lack the ability or if I'm unable to do so, then one should first train our mind. So one should first train our mind. So how do you train your mind? The method to train, so how do you train your mind? So then we talk about the method to guard one's training. So what is the method to guard one's training? Then you need to guard your mind. The method is to guard your the method is your mind. So your mind is the method to guard your training. So you need to train in those six perfections and so forth, right? So the method to guard your training is your mind, and the method to guard your mind is mindfulness, introspection, and conscientiousness. So through which then endowed with mindfulness, introspection, and conscientiousness, then your mind is properly guarded. Then with these, when you engage in any deeds, then your deeds will become excellent, and then you will endowed with the ability to accomplish them. So if you do not first train your mind at the beginning, if you lack the ability to do so, and if you do not first train your mind, then you immediately engage in those trainings of six perfections, then it will become very difficult, and you do not have the ability to accomplish them as well. So next outline is the cause for purifying the trainings. And under this outline is verse 98. It says, 3 times by day and 3 times by night, I should recite the Sutra of the 3 hips. By relying upon the victors and the minds of enlightenment, my remaining downfalls will be purified.
你们的军队马老吧，刚刚我才前面是吧，刚学过的，跟过了军没当，刚学过的，这个高外头吧，应该军吧，
外头高外头呢咯，
高外头军吧，
前
面我真的前面吧，这个头的，得洗的马上吧呢，得洗的马上呢，应该没当的，这都得几个马来是吧？得几个马来是，等待的啥把兄弟说的，这里得洗过了。现在没了当的，也许我看到，建立在马上吧，马上吧，这都能有结果嘛？这啥把兄弟说的，啥把兄弟的，得看到，记者马上吧，记者马上吧，啥把兄弟，送马上吧，啥把听了，是吧？啥把听，啥把说的，那东方文学叫了，开始马上了，我的原来的马上吧，对了，啥把兄弟，啥把兄弟，马上啥把兄弟。送马上吧，啥把的，西干真的东方文学的吧？你现在在东方在东文学的吧？在东文学的吧？
送马上呢，谁把搞的？
啥把的？
啥把整？
啥把的？啥把的了吧？长吧，东方文学的吧？东方文学的吧？我啥把兄弟啥的嘛，就都是几上班的，那别小玩意呢，是吧？那讲说，这都中间那种，强就有3多的，老大你呢，跟这些了，对不嘛的事。你跟这些了，对嘛对吧？像就3多这些大家都都接着过来是。老大一大家都接着过来嘛的，那里面的军队嘛，老是对跟这些了，对我嘛的时候，跟这些唱嘛的事，马上吧呢，这都接着过来是。
今年那的是把中国的，苏民那的是把这的，这里的西部的唱完呢，的是把全部堂东华的中国的话，
东华的还是东华的西部了的，但现在没了他一个东华的西，就是这都接着过来的，就是这都。我的看到啥把钱都晓得，你是马街了，开始马上了，那年把要把钱，年把要把钱，年把的文学马接完了，开始年浪开始马上了，看到。
年浪也文学马上。
东方文学的接完了，开始年浪开始马上，年浪强长长完的文学结果的话，那年浪长完的是那个啥把，文学系。
Okay. So yeah. So yeah. So we have received different vows, like for example, Bodhisattva vows or tantric vows, individual liberation vows, 1D precept, refuge vow, Mahayana precepts, and so forth. So if we were to transgress these vows, then we should confess these negativities, then according to the Akashakabha Sutra, and we shouldn't leave these negativities unpurified. And when we talk about transgressions of vows, then it talks about exhaustions. So small exhaustions, middling exhaustions, and great exhaustions. So for example, Bodhisattva vows, then they are 18 root vows and 46 secondary vows. Then, for example, one of the root vows is if we were to praise oneself and belittle others or criticize others, then this will incur a root downfall. And in order for these actions of praising oneself and criticizing others to become a root downfall, it must have these 4 factors. It must have these 4 factors complete. Only then it will become a complete root downfall. So, or actual root downfall. So, what are these 4 factors? The first one is, the first factor is disregarding the disadvantages or drawbacks. And the second one is you do not wish to stop that action. And the third one is you do it happily or with joy. And the fourth one is without embarrassment and shame. So without shame and embarrassment. So these are the 4 factors for an action to become a root downfall, such as praising oneself and criticizing others. So if these 4 factors are not complete, then it will not incur an actual root downfall. It will still become a negativity, but it will not become a complete root downfall, actual root downfall. So for example, if one were to if one engaged in these actions of praising oneself and criticizing others, then with only 1 or 2 factors, present or complete, then it will become a small exhaustion. And if there are if three factors are present, then it will become a middling exhaustion. If 4 factors are present or complete, then it will become an actual root downfall. So, however, for negativities such as having a wrong view, then it doesn't need to depend on these 4 factors, regardless of these 4 factors, whether they are present or not. So once has this root downfall, once one has this wrong view, you immediately become a root downfall. So we need to confess our negativities. So for example, and we also need to restore our negativities as well. Like for example, through receiving Bodhisattva vows again. So otherwise, if we leave our negativities unpurified, then our negativities will increase or multiply. So in verse 98, it says, I should recite the Sutra of the 3 hips. So 3 hips, 3 hips in general, then these 3 hips refers to the hip of confession, the hip of dedication, and the hip of rejoicing. So we should confess our negativities through reciting the Sutra of the 3 hips and together with the 4 opponent powers and so forth. So regarding these 4 opponent powers, since we have talked about it many times already, I will not go through it here. Next outline is the basis of the training, and under this outline is verse 99. It says, whatever I do on any occasion, whether in terms of myself or others, I should make effort and learn whatever training has been taught for that occasion. So the meaning of this verse is, whatever I do with my 3 doors on any occasion, whether in terms of myself or others, I should make effort and learn whatever training has been taught. So, whether it is for the sake of, whether it's for the welfare of oneself or for the sake of others, and whatever actions that I engage through my body, speech, and mind, wherever I go and wherever I stay. So those trainings that I have accepted, or those trainings that I have accepted, for example, those individual liberation vows, Bodhisattva vows that I have committed to keep, then we should engage in any activities without transgressing those trainings. And next verse is verse 100. It says, there is no such thing as something that is not learned by the victor's children. Thus, if I'm skilled in abiding in this way, nothing will be non-meritorious. So the meaning of this verse is there is no such thing as an object of knowledge that is not learned by the victor's children, such as a sixth perfection and so forth. So there is no such thing as there is no such thing that is not learned by victor's children. So thus I should not generate non-faith, since if I'm skilled in abiding in this way, learning all objects, then nothing will be non-meritorious. So whatever activities a bodhisattva do, then it will become meritorious. Thus, one should not generate non-faith. Next outline is dedicating virtue for the welfare of all sentient beings. Under this outline is verse 101. Directly or indirectly, I should not do anything other than the welfare of sentient beings. Solely for the welfare of sentient beings, I should dedicate all towards enlightenment. So the meaning of this verse is whatever the welfare of sentient beings, so whether it is directly or indirectly or through any of my three doors, body, speech, and mind, I should not do anything other than the welfare of sentient beings. So basically, whatever activities that I engage with my body, speech, and mind, and whatever roots of virtue that I've accumulated since beginningless time until now, then I should dedicate solely for the welfare of sentient beings. Next outline is I should never discard Mahayana's spiritual friend and trainings. I repeat, I should never discard Mahayana's spiritual friends and trainings. Under this outline is verse 102. It says, never, even at the cost of my life, should I forsake a spiritual friend, skilled in the meanings of the Mahayana, who abides in the supreme modes of conduct of a bodhisattva. So the meaning of this verse is, I should train in devoting myself to a spiritual master or spiritual friend in the manner extensively. Sorry. So the meaning of this verse is, even at the cost of my life, I should not forsake a Mahayana spiritual friend skilled in all meanings of the Mahayana. So it shows that, or it indicates that one should have strong faith and one should have strong inspiration in one's Mahayana spiritual friend. So even at the cost of one's life. So next outline is train in reliance on sutra. Under this outline is first two lines of verse 103. It says, I should train in devoting myself to my spiritual master in the manner taught in the biography of Sri Sambhava.
chiu pe ta den do de wa dumbo be chiu pe ji de da bomo pe ji lo de so ni ga ge ta number te do le da dumbo be do le tu ne so de ni ji shen no za de ni ji da shen no za ji de chen ju sim ba de ni da la ma tang ba ge shen ni den bi so pe ja chi de de ji da so ba na shi be su ji de den ba de na shi den wo le ta de la de ji wa mi se la ma da wo den ba
the shunu no sang jesu sema shunu no sang give shin den tu ro de dang
我跌了，
啊
跌的，那么那个疫情里，是节气电子的，电脑系都老把烂掉的也是，我等你是的是，他搞到觉得他解放忙不有了他的。
So the meaning of this verse is, I should train in devoting myself to a spiritual master in the manner extensively taught in the biography of the youth Sri Sambhava in the Array of Stock Sutra. So besides that, so one should rely on one should properly rely on one's spiritual friend, like a Bodhisattva Shodhana, Bodhisattva Shodhana. So like how Bodhisattva Sushodhana or Shodhana, I think it's Shodhana. So Bodhisattva Shodhana, like how he rely on his spiritual friends. So we should learn or we should train in relying on spiritual friends, just like how it was taught in the biography of the youth Sri Sambhava and also Bodhisattva Sushodhana.
다 간다 게 신이 쓰기 때문에 다 내도 나서 뭐 동안 다 그거 이제 요리에서 다 내도 나서 뭐 동안 다 내월 내가 상지까지 신 너들 라니 셰퍼 샤스 너들 나네 라바는 대인도들 라바자 나기님이 너들은 토마니도 따와 샤스 어디인가 어디는
So is Bodhisattva Sudana. So we should train in relying on one spiritual friend, like how Bodhisattva Sudana rely on his spiritual friend. So next verse is the next two lines of verse 103. It says, this and other trainings spoken by the Buddha, I should understand through reading the sutras.
다 간다 와서 넣어야 돼. 로직 니 땡제로 로직 니 땡제다 하다 제주도 돈다 다른 그런 것도 준비죠. 뭐 이제 다 된다 로직 니 또 다른 거 가서 뒤로와 준비되어 보이 로바 있는 주요래. 그 상지가 라바기 도디라서 버티로 베스 거와 도디라서 안에 다 간다 라바지 땡제 소자서 예스 이거 또 제바도 가는 주도 나비 아버는 니비 도디스와 토마타 그래서 다도 저 간다 가서 딱 피나 뭐 되나로 아까 된다라 가서 다 나리다 지금도 소리 하고 있다 하는 거고 소리 하고 있는 거는 당연히 된다도 좀 지시해 와. 어디가 더 좋은데 근데 디지털 그래서 뭐
The next. So besides these two lines, this and other trainings spoken by the Buddha, I should understand through reading the sutras. And also verse 104, it says, I should read the sutras because it is in them that the practices appear. To begin with, I should look at the Sutra of Akashakava. So the meaning of this verse is, I should understand the objects to be trained in, or objects of training in this treatise. So in this particular context, this treatise refers to Bodhisattva Chayavatara and other trainings are spoken by the Buddhas. So we should read those sutras taught by Buddha, and so forth. So whether you are able to read those sutras and so forth, then is the meaning of these sutras are included within Bodhisattva Chayavatara and also Lamrim. So one should read these two texts, Bodhisattva and also Lamrim. Next outline is train in reliance on treatises. Under this outline is verse 105. It says, I should definitely look at compendium of trainings again and again, because what is to be constantly practiced is clearly and extensively shown there.
비슷 종이 있어. 이게 지금 너희
시로.
비슷 종이 좀 거네. 다 간다. 자시라도 때문에서 내가 그걸 기봐. 예바 양도 따고 그래서 다 리론지 계좌도 가서 신신지 체도 신신지 체도 내가 계좌나 파 땅와다 신신지 체도 소 신신지 체도 아바체 신신지 체도 빼와체 봐. 어다 들리 리체 그래서 와 어다 리체 봐래 나가 그걸 기봐. 저를 다 자치 무슨 그래서 그래서 다 그래서
So the meaning of yeah. So the meaning of this verse is I should definitely look at the compendium of trainings composed by Bodhisattva Shantideva again and again, because what is to be constantly practiced is clearly and sensibly shown there by means of the 12, the 3 sets of the 4, giving, guarding, purifying, and increasing of the body, resources, and roots of virtue. So the meaning is for the sake of all sentient beings. So whatever roots of virtue, whether it is giving one's body resources or roots of virtue to others, so we should give, guard, purified, and increase those roots of virtue for the sake of other sentient beings. So this is what we should do. So we should engage in this giving, guarding, purifying, and increasing of giving, for example, or whatever roots of virtue for the sake of all sentient beings.
야나리 힌두 디빈도노 니네 디바타 바바 미비친제 비니모 비기타와 샤세 자와 지와 그때뭐 비시오 했다지 공부 지바를 그래요.
Next verse is verse 106. It says, alternatively, I should sometimes look at the condensed compendium of sutras. Also, I should make an effort to look at the second composed by Ayar Nagarjuna.
다 지제바 따만이야 리히 조제만 디비다 로베 지빈도 그게 디바다 그래서 방금 뭐 누지 지빈도 그게 디바 निबोल निबोल बेबा चेगुरे ऐसे शायद लोगों दा तो चेतना पे शिवा याबोरे ता काज से जे मतलब ना तो चेंजु दे याबोल तादे नाम याबोल दो चो ता ओने थाने तेंदा दो तो दिसरवा छमा दा दिनो दिरे शरवा.
So alternatively, if I'm unable to do that, I should sometimes look a little at the condensed compendium of sutras composed by Shantideva himself. So if you are able to read all these texts suggested here or mentioned here, then that is the best. And if you are unable to do so, then you should read Bodhisattva and Lamrim, the stages of the path, because it contains all those points, all those meanings. Because all the points or all the meanings are condensed into these texts. So next outline is a summary, and verse 107. It says, I should do whatever is not forbidden in those works. I should impeccably practice whatever training I see in order to guard the minds of worldly people.
that Guban Jidi Sen, so Guban Jidi Sen, so much Madiba points that and conduct is a personality, Madiba Poyata, the Digichet. Shanju Simbi Lava, when it Yataba, like Jubashaw, the Jesse Shanju Simbanaji, the Jubala Lavanashi, the Deda Tony, the Deda Lavanashi, this was with the love of the Hesse, in the Warwa, in Latin love of Chevrolet. That is Kanda. Kabar so that's what you have got. Wow, the Sanji man, Ndola, Pinju to Solomon, the Sinji Stochina Karangi Saman, but that you need more than when you were. That ye, and go Tambaina, there is no she were the beginning. That's a cover, the other part, that is so the part, and many pound yes. But Macaba, the other this is okay. I got it, and check out the Chill, so like that.
The meaning of this verse is, I should abandon whatever is forbidden in the sutras and treatises and do whatever is not forbidden in them. So such as those actions that are forbidden in the sutras and treatises, such as killing, harming others, lying, or deceiving others and so forth. So one should abandon these negative actions, just as it has been taught in the sutras and treatises. And the purpose is so that I should impeccably practice and learn whatever training of the Bodhisattvas I see in order to guard the minds of worldly people and to abandon non-faith. So those negative actions such as killing and so forth, then one should abandon. Otherwise, then it will bring forth suffering results, or one will experience the same. One will experience the result same as the actions. So, and those bodhisattva, whatever deeds that bodhisattva engage in, then one should try to learn those deeds or bodhisattva deeds or those training.
Tembashi Sung Bas, there were like how you leader Sinji Nekala, Yanda Yanda Taja, Yini Konandona, she is when it's any to us that they might be sure.
So next outline is one must guard mindfulness and introspection with regard to all objects of training. So under this outline is verse 108. It says the defining characteristics of introspection is in brief, is only this: to examine again and again the states of my body and my mind.
Game ke kari wan do go tu chalam zala pa shisa akine te shimba cha ese bro te ya bu shimba chine je te shimba chine te lando chine jima ji da ha ko ne te la lando ne jima ji ha ko ba na ide te la pa nya sa lando ju go ese bro kuma ke ba chine ya bu shimba cha go ese o de wa de da ji ba che sa de dang nang go lui da ma da sin ji ne ka ka sa da ka da e ja ba sa ka ni che go de ro lo ro de la ta ba che go ese ro the direction. They take along the Chetawa, the Shimbachine. So the bed. You know, Jeba the game make a carry on the logo, carry on the logo, Rang Lapa and Gamma, current logo. This is some Hako Bachine, then Yanichina, then you buy a the Nicton, the she is so reservoir than other she for the thing of the chamber, she thinks with the Yanikarsina.
So whatever practice that we engage, then we must engage. In them with mindfulness and introspection. So the meaning of introspections, or the defining characteristics of guarding introspections, is to examine again and again the states of my body, speech, and mind. So basically, we need to examine again and again the states of our three doors, with the wisdom knowing exactly whether they contravene the trainings or not. So contravene or contradicts or oppose or transgress the training or not. Then how they are unspecified, or how they have not come under the influence of afflictions. So basically, we need to check the states of our three doors, whether the actions of our three doors contradicts the trainings or not, or whether it has fallen under the control of afflictions or not. So by examining these properly, and together with knowing exactly the objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment, then it makes our practice whatever practice that we do, it becomes powerful.
Battery na, 저도 요사래. 나 같이 요령하고 맞아. 내 지쇼. 나 니주 잡고 PC 당사 말. 갈래 티 PC 대 당기라. 맞아.
어디로와? 어디 올 때다. 당문지 되더라. 이게 되더라. 내가 리진데다 제바제 치다 제바 지기도 내지 나와 좀 내가 달라 그게 그거와 이 다시 되나.
맞아. 그러나. So next outline is actual meaning. Under this outline is verse 109. It says, Thus, I should put this into action with my body, for what can be achieved by merely expressing words? Will Sikh people be benefited merely by reading the medical text? Oh, let's see. So let's see. Let's see.
我也那比如啊，那地嘛这地人的，那刚才理解就啊娘的去，对吧？当时话理解就啊娘的去的，就把小娃一去，那刚才俺说呗，娘的要不结果这是真的的人，就是呗，娘的要不嘛就把兄弟们的理解了解都，男的人的理解了解都，亲戚们的理解了解都，马不就呗，看着老很就新鲜，就是哪里接嘛，大把人呢，哪里接嘛，大把人呢，也。 偏都有马的时候是了，是吧？偏都有马的时，这个边呢，民间老把自己年巴了，偏个马的时候是吧？民间那呢，年巴他那年搞的，结果年搞的部分都大过是吧？这干对不对嘛？都，老把自己年巴马的几把的时，我听了，熊猫不就那边，第二是呢，好一点就老，是说个哪里接嘛？大把人那时候，他看到。
So basically, this verse it says that we need to practice. So we need to put into practice. So otherwise, then if you were to say that, oh, there are so many advisors, and you say that, oh, this advice is from Lamrim, this advice is from Bodhisattva, and this advice is from another text, and so forth. So you are able to say, you're able to tell these advisors and from which text these advisors are from. And however, if you yourself do not put this into practice, it is not going to benefit you. Is not going to benefit you. So it's just like Sikh people will not be benefited by reading the medical text or reading the prescription.
我觉得话，而且更多的呢，俺说自己送药的，俺说自己的年纪都比自己给我自己身体对自己送药啊。那自己对送药了，看到俺说，你就东北自己说对吧？东北自己的，那给钱不休息过，说他去东北看的苍茫这边呢，洗了我身上的。 他妈老爷来给钱不是他的也是东北自己送的给钱不也是是吧？东北刚刚个听不完老过去查的是吧？听不完查有的，也送白呢，这东北自己要不送白呢，也现在他妈送多的是，也马送白呢，现在东北马不看得见呢，这他妈马送把他几把的是也不马送是吧？我记了，东北自己娘的东北他的娘的也是
So in brief, when we talk about morality, there are three types of morality: the morality of restraint, the morality of gathering virtues, and the morality of enacting the welfare of sentient beings. So among these three types of morality, then we must properly guard the morality of restraint, which is the foundations of all vows. So if we guard morality of restraint properly, then all other vows will be properly guarded. On the other hand, on the contrary, if this morality of restraint is not properly guarded, if it degenerates, then all your vows, all other vows will be degenerated as well.
到头他就东北，内地就东北的是人力一边上了班的，那个你长久是没那边了，就是说把这前面做，长久是没那些这里啊，那个意思，说他就东北的怕是吧？内地就东北的是那怕，那当白的，那都本农是全部修的是吧？那农是全部他妈我农是全部的是，那给我去的甚至天气就自己知道哇，你解决的，那让你就看到忙到后面东北自己了，那我的是东北自己差的是，是吧？那东北自己差的是。 你东北自己查到是的，那自己他妈就没得说，自己他妈就没得说，东北自己要不你上班呢，是吧？你就东北自己要不是呢，那自己他就没得说了，看到年不点头有的是，是吧？年不点头的送头有的是，那这样的样子，就是送我的是，我说也没得说了，那身上的样子对，那得送我的是，他看到有个去的去出这呢，他看到俺说有个去的去出的，我们俺说去修营吧，就是发现主吧的。 如果对不对？自己娘子样，背起学生一个嘛，
给我去听，
给我去的是，是吧？自己对这一次的，给我去的一次的是，我说给我去的一次的，可是主的娘子娘自己学生一个，这样他妈几把是吧？我得去学生是吧？那这个娘子的，那都是他妈给学生的，可是呢，你东北自己的强的是，他妈学生的，是吧？ 소사지 좀 맞다 용수도 봐 시작도 밑에 차리요 레스 다들 돈비지들 봐 소사지도 봐 예대지 봐 와도 신신 판이 되지도 말에 제시 기발이야 너희들 야그래 예 지금 말에 돈도 시바이나 당원에 자와 투서를 쓰고 자와 대목을 투서도
Yep. So if you think that individual liberation vow is for hearers to practice and then claim that, oh, I'm training in Bodhisattva deeds, I'm holding Bodhisattva vows, then this is a huge mistake. So thus one should train in the morality of restraint. So this morality of restraint is the basis of the morality of gathering virtues and the morality of enacting the welfare of sentient beings. So we talk about there are three types of moralities. And the first one, the morality of restraint, is the basis for the other two types of morality. Thus, one should properly train in the morality of restraint. So if one is able to properly guard the morality of restraint, so then one is able to restrain from the discordant class of morality, and one is able to apply antidotes to those discordant class. One will be able to apply antidotes to those discordant class, and then one should practice endowed with 6 perfections. So when we talk about the 3 types of morality, especially the second one, the morality of gathering virtues, then we also talk about that. I also explain how to practice, how to conjoin your practice with the practice of 6 perfections. So I have mentioned this before. So one should engage in practice endowed with the 6 perfections. So a person, whether you are engaging in whether you are practicing the stages of the path of the 3 scopes of, so a person who practice any of the stages of the 3 scopes of being, so you should practice it. You should practice the stages of the path of the 3 scopes of being with mindfulness and introspection. So a person who practices the stages of the path of the 3 scopes of beings should rely on mindfulness and introspections, and thus one should become skilled in mindfulness and introspection. Skilled in guarding mindfulness and introspection. Sorry. So the title of the text, next is the title of the text. The title of the text, the 5th chapter on guarding introspection from engaging in the deeds of a bodhisattva. So, this is the commentary on the 5th chapter, the chapter called Guarding Introspection, from the explanations of Shantideva's engaging in the Bodhisattva deeds, called the entrance for the children of the conquerors. So basically, the object of expression for 5th chapter is introspection. So introspection is related to bodhicitta and to guard one's practice from falling under the control of discordant class. next chapter is chapter 6. Chapter 6, relying on patience. So this chapter 6, relying on patience, is a very important topic which His Holiness Dalai Lama always encourage students to read it properly. So chapter 6 is relying on patience. Then next chapter is on joyous effort. Next chapter is on concentration, and next chapter is on wisdom. So we are very close to the end of the text. So under this chapter 6, relying on patience, first outline is anger destroying the roots of virtue. So under this outline, anger destroying the roots of virtue, is verse number 1. Whatever wholesome deeds, such as generosity and making offerings to the Sugatas, have been amassed over thousands of eons, will all be destroyed by anger. So this verse, whatever wholesome deeds such as generosity and making offerings to the Sugatas have been amassed over thousands of eons, will all be destroyed by anger. So regarding these, the drawbacks of anger, I have mentioned this many times already. So when we talk about the roots of virtue that we have accumulated for 1,000 eons will all be destroyed by anger, right? So in this verse it says like that. So what is the object of this anger? What is the object of anger? How does this anger destroys the roots of virtue that have been amassed for 1,000 eons? And who is the person who get angry for this to happen? The merit that you have accumulated for 1,000 eons be destroyed by anger. How does what is the person? What kind of person that you required for this to happen? For this merit accumulated for 1,000 eons to be destroyed by anger. So who is the person? The person who get angry. What kind of what requirement there is or they are, and the object of anger. So the objects of anger and the way of getting angry at that object. So, and in general, how does anger destroy the roots of virtue? So these are the questions, and for you to think before next class. So I will explain this in next class. So you need to think about this: the way the person will get angry, and the object of anger, and in general, how does anger destroy the roots of virtue? So next class, maybe then I will ask you for the answer.
그런 데서 그래서 저절로 서버는 그거지 그런 거 굉장히 힘이 들어와도 내가 나는 이쪽에 너무 좋다 이해했어. 이해도 이 시대에 있어. 진짜 세는 데서는 세가 통해서 이거 다 사지시고 막 이해도 돼. 어디에지 이렇게 되죠. 자기가 어디에서 자기가 사지시고 막 그러지. 그래서
Thank you, Yeah. So we conclude with dedication. We stop here and conclude with dedication. We dedicate these roots of virtue to the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and to the excellence of all sentient beings. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long, to have excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities and holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kyoshe Lama Sopa Rinpoche. May Rinpoche's holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously without any obstacle. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail throughout the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster, pandemic, diseases be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all sentient beings, especially those sentient beings who pass away. May all their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment.
Thank you.